Far away from Earth in the silent dark of space, something moved. At first it was only a shadow between the stars, slow, silent, and cold. But then the shadow grew bigger. Lights appeared. Shapes took form. It was not one ship. It was a fleet. A giant alien armada had arrived at the edge of the solar system. On the bridge of the alien flagship, hundreds of strange eyes stared at a large screen. The blue planet Earth glowed softly in the distance. It looked peaceful. It looked weak. The alien commander stood tall. His armor was black like space. His voice was calm but filled with pride. "This is the world they call Earth," he said. "No defense, no warships, no warning systems, just a sleeping planet." The other aliens laughed. To them, Earth was nothing more than a small rock full of soft, fragile creatures. They believed taking this world would be easy, quick, clean. "Send the scout ship," the commander ordered. "Yes, Commander," a soldier replied. A small silver ship detached from the fleet and moved toward Earth. It was fast and quiet. It scanned the planet with invisible beams. Cities, oceans, forests, nothing, no signs of a space navy. No weapons pointing at the sky. No danger. The report came back in less than 2 minutes. "Commander, Earth is defenseless, no shield. No fleet, nothing." The alien commander smiled. "Then this will be a simple victory." Down on Earth, everything was normal. People walked on streets. Cars moved. Children played. The blue sky was calm. No one looked up. No one knew that a storm was coming from the stars. For years, Earth had lived in peace. No one had seen war in space. Governments argued, but people believed the sky was safe. They never thought an enemy could come from the stars. But the aliens were sure. They had attacked many worlds before. They always found the same thing: weak planets, weak creatures, weak defenses. And now Earth was next. On the alien flagship, the commander turned to his second officer. "Prepare the invasion fleet," he said. "Yes, Commander." Giant ships began to power up. Engines roared without sound in the vacuum. Glowing lines ran down their black metal skins. Massive cannons rotated toward the blue world. It was a sight that would have made any human heart stop. But then, "Something strange happened, Commander," said a young alien officer. "I detect a signal." "Near the moon," the commander frowned. "A signal? What kind of signal?" "Very weak. Very old, but it's coming from the dark side of the moon." The commander walked closer to the screen. He zoomed in. The moon floated quietly in the darkness, half lit by the sun. Nothing unusual at first glance. But then, faint energy readings began to appear. "Probably a human satellite," the second officer said. "Or something else," the commander whispered. The scout ship moved closer. Its scanners went deeper. Below the moon's surface, under layers of rock, something was there. Something big. The alien commander narrowed his eyes. "That is not a satellite." On Earth, everything still looked calm. But hundreds of kilometers away, deep under the moon's shadow, old machines were waking up. A secret system that had slept for many years began to breathe again. Silent alarms triggered. Cold engines warmed up. In the dark, metal walls opened. "Commander," the young officer spoke again. His voice now shook a little. "I see movement. Something is rising." The room went silent. The alien commander clenched his fists. "Show me." The screen zoomed in once more. A faint light appeared near the moon, then another, and another. Slowly, large shapes began to appear, like sleeping beasts stretching after a long sleep. "That's impossible," the second officer whispered. "Earth has no space fleet." The commander didn't answer. He just stared at the screen. For the first time, the confidence in his eyes was gone. Something was not right. Something was hidden. Meanwhile, inside one of the dark tunnels under the moon, a human voice echoed through a command center. "Command to all stations," said Captain Harris. His voice was calm but strong. "Activate silent shield. This is not a drill." Red lights flashed across the hidden base. Technicians ran between consoles. Doors opened. Engines roared to life. One by one, massive warships powered up their systems. On the alien flagship, alarms started to beep. "Commander, I detect strong energy signals." "A lot of them!" shouted the officer. "Multiple objects rising from the moon." The commander stepped forward. What is this?" For years, the aliens thought Earth was weak. They thought it was defenseless. But now something old and powerful was waking up in the dark. The alien commander looked at the screen one last time. His smile was gone. "This world is not what we thought," he said slowly. Outside, near the moon, something enormous began to move. A giant metallic shadow stretched across space. Lights flashed like stars being born, and then the alien officer whispered in fear, "Commander, we see movement near the moon." Inside the moon's cold and silent shadow, something ancient was waking up. Metal walls trembled softly. Red lights flashed in long tunnels. For 30 years, the underground base had slept, hidden from every satellite, every radar, every eye. But now it was alive again. In the main command center, dozens of officers moved quickly. Their boots echoed on the metal floor. Screens glowed with green lines and numbers. It felt like the heart of a sleeping beast beating again after a long, deep rest. Captain Harris stood in the center of the room. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. He had trained for this day for years. A day he hoped would never come. "Status report," Harris said. "Power systems are online," a young woman replied. "All engines are waking up. Silent shield is active." Harris nodded slowly. "Good. Bring the fleet to launch position." No one outside knew about Project Silent Shield. It was the most secret defense plan in human history. After the first alien signal was detected 30 years ago, world leaders agreed on one thing. If something came, humanity had to be ready. They built their weapons where no one would see right under the moon, a hidden navy, a sleeping fleet. Far above in the darkness of space, the alien commander still stared at the screen. His confident smile was gone. His officers whispered nervously. "Commander," one said, "energy signals are rising fast. It's not a satellite. It's a fleet." "A fleet?" the commander repeated. His voice was low and cold. "Earth has no fleet. Then what are we seeing?" the officer asked. On the screen, one by one, black shapes slowly rose from behind the moon. At first they looked like mountains. But they kept growing. 10 ships, 20 ships, 50 ships. Their engines glowed like suns. The alien commander took a step back. "No," he whispered. "This is not possible." Down below in the launch hangar, massive warships stood ready. Their names were painted in bright white on their dark hulls: Titan, Orion, Liberty, Valkyrie, and more. These ships had never flown in public. "They were ghosts. Fleet control," Harris said. "Prepare for silent launch." The hangar doors slowly opened, revealing the endless black of space. The ships hummed like sleeping giants taking their first breath. One by one they lifted from the floor. No sound, no bright flare. Just silent, deadly movement. On the alien flagship, the officers were shouting now. "Commander, they're launching ships." "How many?" "Dozens. Maybe hundreds. I can't count. They're everywhere." The commander slammed his fist on the console. "This is not a weak world. This is a trap." Back in the human command center, Harris stared at a large screen. The fleet was taking formation. Triangles of warships aligned with perfect precision. Fighters deployed from their bays, moving like tiny stars. "Fleet, this is command," Harris spoke clearly. "We've trained for this. We've waited for this. Remember the mission. Protect the planet. No retreat." Outside, the black of space was changing. It was no longer empty. It was full of human steel and firepower. The hidden power of Earth was awake. "Sir," an officer said, "the alien fleet is holding position, but their weapons are warming up." "They're not here to talk," Harris replied. "They came for war. But we're ready." The alien commander turned to his officers. "Prepare to attack," he said. "Destroy their fleet before they can react." But Harris was already one step ahead. "Fleet, lock on targets," Harris commanded. "No one fires until I give the order." Dozens of targeting systems activated. Invisible lines connected human ships to alien positions. The silence was heavy. It felt like the air itself was waiting to explode. The alien fleet began to move closer, like a dark wave swallowing light. But this time they were not facing a sleeping world. "Commander," an alien officer said nervously, "their formation. It's military." "They're trained," the commander gritted his teeth. "Then we show them who rules the stars." Back in the human fleet, Harris whispered to himself, "You made one mistake. You thought we were weak." Then, over the communication channel, he said the words his crew had trained to hear for years. "Fleet, prepare for engagement." Engines roared. Weapons locked. Human warships stood like a wall in front of their home planet. For the first time, the alien commander felt something new. Doubt. What if, he thought, this world is not like the others? The alien fleet moved into attack range. The space between them and the human fleet grew smaller. 10,000 kilometers, 5,000, 1,000. Harris stared at the screen. His hands were steady, his heartbeat slow and strong. Now he whispered, "Let them see." The fleet spread its wings. Dozens of warships formed a wide line, their engines glowing bright. It was a sight no alien had ever seen, a world standing tall, ready to fight. The alien commander took a deep breath. "Open fire," he shouted. But before the alien weapons could fire, the human ships made their move. The silent fleet was silent no more. The stars were silent. But war was about to begin. Two fleets faced each other across the empty black. One was alien, massive, cold, and sure of its power. The other was human, silent no more, awake after decades of hiding. The distance between them was closing fast. On the alien flagship, Commander Varrock stood still. His red eyes glowed in the dim light. He had crushed many worlds before. He had never lost a war, and he believed this would be no different. "Lock all weapons," he ordered. "Fire when ready." The alien ships shifted like a dark storm. Their cannons lit up with green fire. Energy built in their cores. The alien officers smiled, thinking victory was already in their hands. On the other side, Captain Harris watched calmly from the human command ship Titan. Around him, dozens of ships floated in perfect formation, their hulls reflecting the pale sunlight. Inside, crew members waited in silence. No fear, just focus. Distance 1,000 kilometers, the navigation officer reported. "Shields at maximum," Harris replied. "Hold position." The first alien shot came without warning. A massive plasma beam, bright and burning, cutting through the darkness like a sword. It was aimed straight at the heart of the human fleet. "Impact in 3, 2, 1, shouted the sensor officer. The beam hit the front line. A blinding flash lit up the black sky. But when the light faded, the human fleet was still there. The shields held. On the alien bridge, Varrock's eyes narrowed. Impossible. On the human bridge, Harris didn't even blink. "Return fire." Instantly, the silent fleet answered. Dozens of heavy cannons lit up, missiles launched in waves streaking like falling stars. The calm darkness turned into fire and thunder. Alien ships scrambled to respond, but they were slow. They had expected no resistance. Explosions tore through their front lines. One alien cruiser broke in half, another spun out of formation. "Direct hit on enemy ships," shouted a human officer. "Two down, more damaged, but the alien fleet was still huge." They recovered fast. Hundreds of green lights appeared across their formation. It was their full power. "Brace for impact," Harris said. A rain of plasma beams and energy bolts crossed space. Human shields flared bright blue. The ships shook. "Warning lights flashed on the bridge. Damage report," Harris commanded. "Minor hull damage on Valkyrie and Liberty. Shields holding strong." "Good," Harris said. "They hit hard." But we hit harder. Fighter squadrons launched from both sides. Small, fast ships darted between the giants, their trails cutting across the black like glowing ribbons. Dogfights exploded everywhere. Missiles chased enemy fighters. Beams sliced through the void. Inside a human fighter, Pilot Vega gritted her teeth. "This is for Earth," she whispered, locking on an alien target. She fired. A burst of light. The alien fighter exploded into dust. Above the battlefield, the alien commander watched in anger. Their weapons. "Their shields. How is this possible?" he growled. "They were waiting for us," said his second officer quietly. "They prepared." Varrock slammed his clawed hand on the console. "Then we break them." The alien fleet changed formation, a massive arrow shape pointing toward the human center. Their biggest guns charged, gathering green energy like a star about to explode. Harris saw it coming. He stood tall. "They're going for the center." "All ships, defensive wall." "Protect the Titan!" The human fleet moved like a single machine. Lines shifted. Warships aligned shoulder to shoulder. It was beautiful and deadly. The aliens fired their main cannons. A wall of burning energy rushed toward the humans. The impact was brutal. Shields flared white-hot. The whole fleet shook. Panels cracked. Sparks flew. The crew held their breath. "Shields at 72%, shouted the engineer. "Hold," Harris said firmly. "No one breaks." The aliens expected the shield to fall, but it didn't. The wall of human ships stood strong. Then Harris gave the order. Counterstrike. All cannons fire. Every human warship lit up at once. It was like a star-going supernova. The blast of combined fire slammed into the alien center. 3 ships exploded in seconds. 2 more were torn apart. The alien fleet cracked. "Commander," shouted an alien officer, "we're losing ships. Their power is greater than expected." Varrock bared his teeth. "Enough games." In the distance, a shadow began to rise, much bigger than any ship in the alien fleet. It was black and silver, covered in glowing green veins. It looked like a moving mountain. The alien mothership was finally moving forward. On the human bridge, Harris's heart beat once heavy. "So," he whispered, "there you are. The mothership was the real enemy. Its cannons could destroy whole cities. Its shields were like a wall of stone. Even the human fleet would not survive if they faced it unprepared." "Sir," an officer said, "energy readings are off the charts." "That thing is a monster." Harris stared at the screen. The calm was gone from his face now. Only cold focus remained. "Tell the fleet," he said quietly, "this is only the beginning." The alien mothership's front glowed brighter and brighter. Energy gathered like a sun about to burst. "Commander Varrock," said his second officer, "the humans are strong." Varrock's smile returned. "Then we crush them with everything." In the last seconds before the blast, Harris whispered to himself, "Let's see who breaks first," and then the mothership fired. The stars flashed bright as the alien mothership fired its massive weapon. A wave of green energy, wide like an ocean, raced across the battlefield. It was too big to dodge. It was too strong to ignore. On the human bridge, Captain Harris gripped the rail. "All shields up!" he shouted. "Brace for impact." The green wave hit the front line like a hammer. Human warships shook violently. Lights went out for a second. Alarms screamed. Metal groaned like a wounded beast. "Shields at 50%. The engineer yelled. "Liberty is badly hit. Hold formation." Harris ordered. "Do not break." In space, the fleet stood like a wall in a storm. But the mothership was stronger than anything they had faced before. Its attack burned through the black like a second sun. On the alien flagship, Commander Varrock watched with a cold smile. "Now they understand," he said. "No fleet can stand against us." But Harris was not afraid. His eyes were calm. He had always known this moment would come. "Commander," said his second officer, "our scouts report heavy damage to human ships. Shall we finish them?" Varrock nodded slowly. "Yes, crush them." The mothership began charging again, green fire swirling inside its massive cannon. The smaller alien ships regrouped behind it like a shield wall, ready to end the battle with one final strike. Inside the human command ship, Titan, the air was heavy. Many officers were sweating, but no one backed away. They all knew this was not the end. This was the real beginning. "Sir," said Lieutenant Vega, "if they fire again at full power, our shields won't hold." "I know," Harris replied. "That's why we won't wait." He turned to the tactical officer. "Prepare Titan Core." The room fell silent. For years, the Titan Core had been only a word, a legend inside the Silent Shield program. Only a few people knew it was real. It was Earth's last and most dangerous weapon. Not a ship, not a cannon, something more powerful. "Are you sure, sir?" the officer asked softly. "Once we start it, there's no turning back." Harris looked at the main screen. The mothership grew bigger every second. "Yes, it's time." Deep under the moon's surface, in a hidden chamber colder than ice, a huge machine opened its metal heart. Blue energy began to spin, growing brighter and brighter. The Titan Core was awake. Back in space, Varrock's fleet prepared to fire again. Their weapons lit up, forming a giant green storm. "Target the human command ship," Varrock ordered. "Destroy their heart. The rest will fall." But Harris had already moved his pieces. "Squadron Omega," he called over the comm. "You know your mission." A special group of stealth ships detached from the human fleet and vanished into the shadows. Their engines were silent. No radar could see them. They moved straight toward the mothership like invisible knives. On the alien bridge, no one noticed. Inside one of those stealth ships, Pilot Vega checked her controls. Her heart was steady. She had trained for this. "This is for Earth," she whispered. Energy spike detected, an alien officer suddenly shouted. "Something's moving near the mothership." Varrock spun around. "Where?" It's small. Fast. I can't lock on. Before he could finish, the first stealth ship broke through their defenses. Explosions shook the mothership's outer shields. Alarms echoed inside the alien control room. "They're inside our perimeter," shouted another officer. "Destroy them!" Varrock roared. Fighter squadrons scrambled, but it was too late. The human strike team was already at the mothership's weak point. A giant energy core pulsed there, glowing like a green heart. Back on the Titan, Harris watched the operation unfold. His voice was low and calm. "Keep them busy. Titan core at 70% charge." The alien fleet responded with fury. Plasma beams filled the sky. Human ships moved fast, dodging, fighting, sacrificing themselves to protect the core team. On the bridge, sparks fell from the ceiling. Hull warnings flashed red. Harris didn't move. He just stared at the mothership. He knew everything depended on timing. "Titan core at 85%, the engineer reported. "Sir, one more alien shot could break us." "They won't get that shot," Harris said. At that same moment, Commander Varrock gave his final order. "Fire all weapons." The mothership's cannon glowed brighter than ever before. The green storm was ready to crush everything. Harris didn't blink. "Titan core at 100%, the engineer shouted. "Do it," Harris whispered. Far below the moon, the Titan core exploded into light. A shockwave of pure blue energy spread outward, silent and deadly. It bent space itself. It made the stars flicker. "Commander!" An alien officer screamed. Massive energy surged from Earth. "It's huge!" Varrock turned sharply. "What is this?" On the screen, a glowing sphere was forming around the moon. It grew fast, expanding like a living thing. The mothership's cannon fired, but the green beam hit the Titan core wave and shattered like glass. For the first time, Varrock felt something cold in his chest. Fear. "What have they done?" he whispered. Harris stood on his bridge, the blue light shining across his face. "You thought we were weak," he said softly. "You were wrong." The shockwave continued to grow, pushing everything back. Alien ships started to lose control. The mothership shook violently. "Commander," shouted his officers, "the shockwave is tearing us apart." But the mothership did not fall. "Not yet," Varrock's red eyes narrowed. "If I fall, I'll take your planet with me." The mothership's core began to spin faster. It was preparing one last desperate strike. Harris clenched his fists. "He's not done." The battle was not over. The battlefield burned like a second sun. Blue light from the Titan core and green fire from the alien mothership mixed together, turning the black space into a storm of light. Human and alien ships spun in chaos. Commander Varrock stood on his bridge, gripping the rail. His mothership trembled, but it was still alive. Smoke filled the alien command room. Sparks rained from broken wires. "Commander!" shouted an officer. "The Titan core wave destroyed half our fleet." Varrock bared his teeth. "Then the other half will fight until the end." His eyes locked on Earth. "This world dies with us." Inside the Titan, Captain Harris leaned over the command table. "Damage report," he called. "Frontline ships badly hit," said the engineer. "But Titan core is stable. Shield levels rising again." Harris nodded. "Good, we finished this here." The alien mothership began charging again. Its giant cannon glowed brighter than before, desperate but deadly. A final strike that could burn through the Earth's defenses if it hit. "Sir," said Lieutenant Vega from the stealth team channel, "we're inside their core chamber. We can see their power source." "It's unstable." "Copy that," Harris replied. "Hold your position. When I give the word, hit it with everything you have." Outside, human ships pushed forward like a rising tide. Fighters darted through alien fire. Destroyers and cruisers advanced in a perfect wall. The silence of hiding was over. Humanity had a voice now, and it roared. "Fleet Command," Harris said through the comms, "this is it. No retreat, no fear. We fight for Earth." Every pilot, every crew member, every ship heard his words. Across the fleet, engines burned brighter. The alien commander roared to his crew, "All power to the main cannon. If we fall, they fall with us." The mothership's energy core screamed as it built up its final shot. The green glow grew so intense it lit the entire battlefield. Even from Earth, telescopes could see the strange light in the sky. "Sir," an officer warned, "if that hits us, Earth will be finished." Harris stared at the screen. He didn't blink. He didn't shake. "Then we won't let it. Titan core, full output," he ordered. "Target the mothership." A deep rumble filled the Titan. The blue energy sphere expanded again. But this time it wasn't defense. It was attack. "Lieutenant Vega," Harris called. "Ready, sir," she answered. She and her team were inside the alien mothership, right next to the pulsing green core. They placed charges along the walls. The alien officer shouted in panic, "Commander, humans are inside the ship." Varroc's voice was full of rage. "Seal the core. Kill them." Alien soldiers rushed into the core chamber, but Vega and her team were faster. They fought hard, blasters flashing in the green light. One by one they cleared the way to the power heart. "Charges set," Vega yelled. "Waiting for your word." "Now," Harris whispered. The human fleet opened fire. Blue beams and missiles crashed against the mothership's shields. The Titan core wave followed, silent but powerful, shaking the ship to its core. Inside, Vega pressed the trigger. A moment of silence. Then a blinding explosion. The alien core cracked like glass. The energy inside turned wild, spinning out of control. Lights exploded across the mothership's surface. Green fire spread through its body. "Commander!" an alien officer screamed. "The core is collapsing." Varroc stared at the screen. The mothership was dying. He could not believe it. "No," he whispered. "This is not possible." On the Titan, Harris saw it too. The glowing monster that had threatened Earth was falling apart. "Pull back," he ordered. "All ships, clear the blast zone." The human fleet turned away, engines blazing. The mothership twisted in the darkness, green energy pouring from its wounds. Varroc stood alone on the bridge, smoke filling the air. He watched as the light grew brighter. His war was over. This world, he growled softly, was not weak. And then the mothership exploded. A giant ball of green fire filled space, swallowing what remained of the alien fleet. One by one, their ships vanished in the light. The human fleet held formation, shields flaring as the shockwave passed. When the light finally faded, only silence remained. No more alien ships, no more threat. A voice filled the human comms. It was Vega. "Mission complete, sir. We're coming home." Harris closed his eyes for a brief moment. "Good work, Lieutenant." Outside, Earth floated quietly, blue, calm, and alive. Humanity had stood against the storm, and once across the world people looked at the night sky. They didn't know the full story yet, but they saw the last flash of the alien mothership's destruction. In that moment, they realized something powerful. Earth was not alone. Earth was strong. Inside the Titan, Harris stood before his crew. Tired faces, bruised hands, burned consoles, but victory in their eyes. "Today," he said, "they came to break us. Instead, we showed them who we are." Cheers erupted across the fleet. Ships flashed their lights in silent celebration. The hidden fleet was hidden no more. Above the moon, the black space that had once belonged to invaders now belonged to the defenders. Earth's defenders. Harris turned to the main screen. The stars were clear again, quiet. "They thought Earth was defenseless," he whispered. "But they were wrong.